I've just met these ladies, but I'm so impressed just by the little bit that I know of you all and what I've seen and our brief conversations that we had. So I'm really looking forward to asking you some more questions here, and hopefully we get some good stuff for the audience. I guess let's start off. Let's start with you, Cristina.
Sure. Can you guys hear me? Yes, no, maybe so. Hello.
Here, use this. Well, just introduce yourself and then.
Thank you. Cristina Valencia with Real Estate Solutions Miami. I've been a broker since 2014, in the business since 2004, so I've been in the business for a while. Let me introduce Jackie. She's amazing, by the way.
You're amazing. You're amazing. I'm Jackie Liberto. I'm broker owner of Realty One Group Emerald Coast in Destin, Florida. We are in Alabama and Florida, covering the whole Panhandle area.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Well, thanks for coming up here. You both are just go-getters, get it done, and you've had some aha moments along the way that we've spoken about before. You have an international license, so I want to know about that. Like, what is an international license? Let's just go, I'll answer that, and then we'll get to what you...
Okay, an international license is a license that allows you to study different markets everywhere in the world. So it's called a CIPS. You can get it, and you can go and study all the different continents, and more importantly, how to do business in the continent, because people are different. So that allows you to communicate in their language as term as business, because as you know, the US has a different way of doing business. So most of these investors that want to come and buy in the US, especially Florida is the #1 state for international investors by far, doubling Texas and California. So we're like 26% of the international sales. California and Texas have 13 each. So when they come, they think that they can do business the way that they do it at home. And then they find all the surprises that is completely different. So this license allows you to understand how business is done in their countries and how to communicate with them in a proper way, that you're setting boundaries and you're teaching them, because they're really going to try to force you. It's like, oh, okay, so let's just change the contract. Let's make some commas here, and let me have my attorney send this whole paragraph. And when you tell them, no, you can't do that, like in a developer contract that it's 80 pages and they're like freak out. So it allows you to do that. And most importantly, it allows you to make connections all over the world, who got me to my aha moment that's saying, if I'm Ecuadorian from South America and my people are buying here and I'm not the one selling them, this is horrible, right? It's like, I can't believe that a Guatemalan is selling to an Ecuadorian. It allowed me to make the connection with the embassy. The United States Embassy now sends me as the United States spokesperson to these different countries. So when they trust that the American embassy is behind you, they're like, oh, this is the person who has to, the go-to person. So that was my aha moment, saying this is a big niche in Florida. Nobody's really using the strength that we have as international, with our international license, and my business completely changed after that. That's what it is.
Awesome. You were military family prior to getting, did you have your license while you were supporting your husband?
Absolutely not. No, I was actually a GS employee. That was my career progression of trying to stay relevant, and you have a desire in your heart to do something, and mine was just grow and build and increase and improve. So the GS ladder was a way for me to do that while he was active duty. So I stayed doing that until he took the retirement in 2014. We came back to the local area, and I actually negotiated really hard for a GS-11 spot at Eglin Air Force Base to be the manpower analyst there, and it just felt like I was pushing and pushing and hitting that brick wall over and over again. Our kids were in middle school. They needed a lot going. We had band, and we had football, and all of the things for that. He had moved into contracting, so he's working as a government contractor, and I said, fine, I relent. I will do real estate. At least I'll have flexibility within my schedule to be able to accommodate my kids and be there when he needs me. And yeah, it turns out you can work every single one of the 24 hours in a day. There's your flexibility. Surprise.
Yeah, I was going to question that, the flexibility. But yeah, thank you for your service. And thank you for your service. So you both obviously have found a pretty good amount of success, we'll say that. So was there ever a moment, and you, either one, I want you both to answer, but you can answer first since you have the mic. Was there a moment when you were like, this is too hard, I want to give up?
And I'm like completely the opposite, because I had done so many different things. I was kind of embarrassed to post that I had become a real estate agent. So it had to have this long, 4-paragraph long diatribe about military life being hard and how hard it is for a military spouse and poor me and believe in me. And I just did not want to see one single what now, what next, how long will she, do this until she gives up again. And I looked around at people doing real estate, and exceptions to this room, but there are some people who are not very smart, who make a lot of money, right? Okay, so I look at my tool bag of what do I have? I have a cell phone, I have a laptop, I have a computer, I have MLS. They have those same 4 things. They know how to use them better than I do, and they have a time advantage on me. So I'm gonna double up the amount of time. I'm gonna get there faster than the rest of them, and I will use every tool in my tool bag better than anyone out there. And in 3.5 years, I was selling 140 properties. So no, there was no giving up, there was no B plan. The ships were burned day one.
Just mash the gas and go. Awesome. How about you?
Well, I've been in this for a long time, since 2004, and at the beginning it was a lot of fun because my son was very small, so he'll come to me everywhere and help me show houses and open houses, and it was a lot of fun. And I was an agent back then. I think that I cannot do this anymore is when I became a broker, and my brokerage grew to 100 agents. And I'm like, I'm an active broker because I do like what I do. So it's like doing both of me and my own real estate with international clients, plus taking care of what I called my kids, 100 kids. So it gets to the point that I say, oh, I cannot do this anymore. And I was like, we were talking. It's like, why is it that you cannot understand, I show you how to do it 1, 2, 3 times. I record the video, I send it to you, and you still ask the same question. So it gets to a point, it's like, I can't do this anymore. So it's whatever fits for you, and I think it's like finding the passion again. I don't know who said it in the morning. I think it was Jeremy who said it. You really need to find the passion in what you do. And at the end of the day, in coaching, they tell you, well, you chose to be a broker for a reason, be it. We choose that. So whenever you guys call us at 2 o'clock in the morning or that, I already changed all the parameters. That's what she was saying, putting my boundaries. But it does get exhausting because at the end of the day, you are a CEO of your own company. And CEOs sometimes do business alone because everything's in your head and you try to do it. And until you try to find people in your team that can do it, it can get very exhausting if you want to pass that threshold. Because it gets to a point that you're like, you're not ready yet to hire people in your team or to help you, but you're like having massive amount of work. So either you do it all until you have the money to hire, or you drop the towel. And that's going to be like that all the time. And then the market, is like this and this and this. So it's like saying, what am I doing? And I feel like in a roller coaster. So it can get like that. And also priorities change. You might get married or divorced, or kids are out of home. Now my son is not living with me. So I'm like, do I really want this? Or how do I want to take this into a different level, maybe in coaching or writing books or whatnot? But it does get like that, and it's fine. I tell my agents all the time, you're going to get tired. Yes, it's going to get like, I don't want to do this anymore. Yes, just push a little bit more, and that's when the rainfall comes down. Yes.
Awesome, yeah. And you both have built quite a bit. Like you have a gazillion companies. I lost track when you were telling me the other day. You're traveling internationally for the United States government. And it's just what I'm hearing from y'all. You just don't look back and go for it, and you just give it that little bit more gas, and then it all kind of helps. It all comes down to on the good side of things.
I'm still gonna do it.
You made it through it. You made it through the other side. So what are some of the tools or like? Did you start finding? You must have started finding people that were helping you. So what was that journey like? Because for a lot of us, we're just solo agents, and we're finding that we got to program our chat GPT now, and then we got to do video, and we have to do all this stuff, and no one can keep up with Jeremy. Where'd he go? So it's impossible to keep up with Jeremy. So if I got to do all the stuff Jeremy's doing, I'm going to need somebody to help me.
So back to Gary Vee, and if you guys don't follow him, please follow him. He's got just nugget after nugget after nugget. He says many of us tie our ego to our hiring, and you need to detach. And tie your ego to your ability to fire. Because everyone that you hire has a mask on. You could never see through that. But when you do, you hanging on to that person who's not a right fit is the problem. So be really good at firing people. And I can see you afterward and tell you a great strategy to get people to depart themselves amicably. It's a great one. But so my first full year in real estate was 2017, and that year I had 57 transactions. And I was chaos everywhere. I mean, it was just paperwork everywhere. I was working ridiculous hours. Nothing was coming together. Nothing made sense. I don't know how I closed that many without knowing even what I was doing. There were no systems in place at all. And that year, I hired and fired 9 people because I didn't even know how to articulate what I needed. I called my husband at work one day, and I said, "How much you make?" I think we can make, if you would come with me and you would get your license, together we could more than replace the income by doing, 2 more sales each month, by having that help and that synergy. And obviously I cannot work with anyone because, so finding the right person is really important. I have many right people now, and we all recognize that we work for the mythical creature that is on that board. That is not me, right? Me is an agent. Me is a mentor. Me is a brand. Me is many, many things. And it requires all of these amazing people to make that person look good.
Absolutely, it's a teamwork, and a lot of people are not successful because they want to be a solo agent, and you go to the offices and the top producer doesn't share anything. Have you seen that? It's horrible because at the end of the day, I'm not competing with you, you're not competing with me. We're colleagues, and the more that we know of each other, the more you learn. But besides that, it's like I have someone that does everything for me, marketing or in video, and my TC and my my customer service person. So you have to have a team, but I think that most importantly is that who do you trust also as vendors, because we forget about that. I've known Cindy from Ferta Solutions. She used to work for another company that I'm still working with right now. When you trust the people, like title company or mortgage or inspectors, they do your job a lot easier. It's part of your team as well. Not only who's going to help you grow in your own brokerage or mini brokerage because you're a CEO of your company, but also your vendors. It's extremely important. Because there's a lot of people that goes like, oh, so-and-so told me about this new company, and so-and-so go, and they just go and change, and they don't build a loyalty, trust, and therefore referrals. Because at the end of the day, that's what we all want, grow from each other. So, and also, I'm a control freak, and I used to control everything in my business, and then you realize that that's not going to take you anywhere. It's like you have to, at a point, let go and say, I need to hire somebody that knows more than I do in this aspect. Like social media and marketing, even though I have a master's in marketing, I don't do it. I just give the idea to someone and they take care of it because I don't like dealing with the phones and ChatGPTs and all that. It's just not me. I can't do it. So as long as you understand that you need a team of people, it makes your life a completely different story. And as you say, it just multiplies because you're the rainmaker. So do what you're absolutely the best at and let other people do what they're best at.
That's great advice, absolutely. So what's next for you all? What's the next? You're still growing? I'm going to just say yes. I'm going to assume you're still growing because I don't think that you could stop.
And since I have a bachelor's degree in business administration with a minor in marketing, I know it's not a master's, but I wanted to get it on the floor here. My goodness, that was beautiful. Thank you. No, you should be proud of that. It's amazing. So our whole philosophy on our companies and our agents is creating better ways for them to work in an ecosystem. We don't want them to refer that buyer who has to now rent the property because he's a little upside down to another company. We want to keep them in our home. So we started with this bubble of the sales cycle, and all of the pieces that go into that is how we build out our family of companies, is so that our agents, leads, and customers are protected in-house. So we have some things that are affiliate, such as Realty One Group, which, shout out, love them. But our insurance company that covers the entire state of Florida for commercial and personal lines, that's an independent.
there a link we need to?
Call me. And then our property management company is an independent, built from the ground up. From, I always say we built that from a blank sheet of paper. We just opened a Word document and started typing. And we have, in 4 years, 375 doors and 5 property managers. So we're really, really proud of that company and what it's been able to do to help our agents. And now we have agents from outside of our brokerage that send us stuff too, because we have such a good reputation with our management team. But it's always, what can I build off of what I need? And it's the agent mentality that I build from, because I've been an agent and I've lost many, many leads sending them outside of our ecosystem because we hadn't built this one yet as an agent. So it's always just being proactively thinking, where's the white space? What's missing? How can I fill this void? And sometimes it's something you need to do, and sometimes it's a vendor or a service that you need to align with and provide. But don't chance your people and your leads and your agents to someone else.
That's great. So the question is, what's next for me?
What's next?
Well, it's like I got so caught up what she was saying. I told you, she's amazing. What's next for me? I see this question in two separate ways of answering. As a broker owner, I see myself, I've switched my company into more like a boutique company, including for my agents. So I'm more like a business coach now for them. So everybody gets a chance to develop their own business plan within my company as their own CEOs. So my job for them is like saying, I'm more interested now in growing your brokerage than mine. It's like, so I'm working all with senior agents, and it's like sitting them with them and then making their business plans be extremely successful. So that's where we're going now, and that's if we need to include a vendor, we need to include, because some of them, a lot of them are do only international, some of them do rentals, so everybody's different in that sense. We do have our own title company, which also helps a lot into that matter as a brokerage. And the brokerage is growing more into what I was telling you guys yesterday about the community. We're serving big in that community, so we're proud to be probably the number one sponsor of the nonprofit, and as a brokerage, we're being more voiceful about that, which I love. As an agent or as myself, as you grow and as I guess as you age, you realize things that you love and things that you don't like at all about the business. I was telling Jackie before this interview. So I do love the traveling. I'm going to continue doing that. But it gets to the point that I'm transitioning also and doing a lot of video, a lot of YouTube interviews, with the mayor, and I've had the president of the university, the CEO, the president of University of Miami there, bringing more information to the community, not only about real estate, but as how to be successful. Because people do ask you, how is it that you became, single mother with nothing, coming from complete poverty while I was living here to have this, 3 companies. So I funded a real estate club, which is the way that allows me to grow and leave my legacy. So as Sigden is one of our vendors in the club, and we're growing the club to more than now 500 agents from different parts of Miami, and we're bringing them value to them. So it's like more managing what real estate is. It's like we need each other, and we're not competing with each other, and using each other's resources. Because instead of me, teaching my own kids, as I call them, I can teach all of your kids, and you're free to do that through the club, and vice versa. And that has been super successful for us for the last 2 years. We're ready to launch our own platform. We kind of knew about what was going on with the commission, so actually our own platform allows us to put the listings with the compensation already in it. So it's a lot easier. You don't have to, how much compensation are you paying? It's all in our platform for whatever listings we're gonna do. All our vendors are there, and all our developers are there. So the developers put their inventory there. You don't need to be calling the developer, what do you have, what's your inventory? They just put it, and it lives in this super mega cloud, which is the club. And me, as a broker owner, I'm ready to launch my first book, May. I'm super happy about that. Yes, I'm super excited. It's like my baby. Had nothing to do with real estate. It has to do with my story as of, what happened to me and how I got to be where I'm at now. So that's where I'm at now.
Well, now we're curious. You got to give us a little summary of what happened. What's the book about?
The book is called You're Sent as a Woman, Tu Aroma de Mujer, mostly dedicated to women, that each woman has a purpose in life. The reason why you were born where you were born, and you're married to whoever you're married, your parents, etc. Your life story combined with your talents, your character, the good things that you had to go through, and the horrible things that you had to go through, like Sue. It is all part of your unique scent. And that scent gives you your purpose in life. And that purpose in life is not for you. It's to give to others. It's like a flower. When you smell it, the flower doesn't smell herself. You smell it. Same thing is with women. We're there to help each other grow, not to put each other down. And as you learn through life what happened to you, and I also have a daughter in heaven. I have Sebastian with me. He's 24 next month, and my daughter Victoria is not with me. So it's the story as of why my 2 kids, being a single mom, were actually the transformation in my life, and how you can really be flourishing as a flower and with full joy and happiness, even despite those things. So that's what the book is about.
That's amazing.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Well, congratulations on all. Yeah, it's going to be great.
On Amazon.
So I do, on Amazon, we'll search for it. When is it coming out?
May 29th.
Okay, soon, May 29th, Amazon.
Get it ready to give birth.
All right. So as you were both talking, we're going to hear from another amazing woman tomorrow, Mindy. Where's Mindy? Wait for us. Everybody knows Mindy. She calls herself ignorance on fire. And I love that term, right? But I don't think it's ignorance. I just think it's, if you don't have all the answers, if you don't have it all figured out, like, don't stop. Keep going through. And that's the message I just heard from you all. So thanks so much for being up here. I have one more quick question. I think, really quick answer. Reaching back and helping others pull up, what do you say to all of us if we want to own a gazillion businesses and we want to travel for the United States government or something of the like? What advice do you have for us?
A couple, and I'll be fast, but the ignorance brought back something that my husband and I were talking about this morning is, I don't like the word ignorance because I think it just kind of has a negative connotation to it, but it just simply means I don't know. And I don't know works when the information's not available to you. You all have cell phones, you all have computers, you have the internet. So by staying in ignorance, you're choosing it. You're making an active, conscious decision to not be successful. It's all right there. So don't live in that moment, stay in ignorance, drop your ego, admit what you need to learn, and then go find your ChatGPT, build your custom, let it know who you are, and ask it questions. And here's a pro tip on ChatGPT. You can say, Chat, don't record this, but I got a quick question. And the other part, I just wanted to annotate what she said, legacy. I think legacy is such a motivating factor. And a lot of people would ask me, like, what's your why? I don't know. I just got up and went to work every day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, some of us just work to work. But when I flipped it from what's your why to my legacy, oh, that hits different, right? I want my kids to be taken care of and successful and have good role model. And I want their kids to be successful because of that. And I want my grandkids to be proud of me and what I did and built so they have a better life. So lean on your legacy.
That's a great answer. I think that also has to do with, take responsibility for yourself. It's not about your broker. It's like so many people have changed brokerages so many times. It's like, my broker doesn't do this. My broker doesn't give me that. It's like, it's not about your broker. It's about you. It's like, you are your own CEO. I cannot stress that enough. That's what I tell every single agent. It doesn't matter if you're like in 1,000 different brokerages. If you don't change your mindset, you will never be successful because it's all about you and, being what is it you want? It's the first question that we ask our agents. It's like, what is it that you want? Is it like X? If you want 100,000, I can help you with that. If you want 10,000, I can help you with that. But it all starts with being responsible and not, it's like, well, if you're like watching Netflix all day long, how do you expect to sell a house? If you don't have a system, you don't have it like, oh, I cannot work from home because I get, distracted. COVID happened, and what happened? We had to force ourselves to innovate, which I think that the real estate industry is one of the industries that we need to innovate like every other day. Everything changes in real estate so quickly. The tools and how we need to communicate and, status is like, if you're like set behind, like, we were talking, when I started real estate, we didn't have the iPhone. We had no iPhones. We had like the system to look at listings was like book, literally. Can you imagine looking at listings in a book? It's like crazy. So everything has changed so drastically, and I paid for that because, as I said, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do video. I don't want to do that. And if you keep on saying you don't want to do it, you're not going to do it. So you have to change your mindset. I think it's the most important thing in real estate is how strong your mindset is of what you want to do, and it's you and you alone. Take responsibility for your success, how successful you want to be. It all starts with a yes. Yes, I want to be successful. Yes, I want to do this, and you will do it. That's all it takes.
Awesome. Amazing. Round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank both of you.